This exercise is called selecting the correct range on the gauge. It's important to learn the impact of selecting an incorrect range on a gauge. And what that means is that the gauge says one thing and the fan is set at another. And this is a very common mistake that causes some huge errors, which you will soon see. The equipment needed is a blower door fan system and a simulator. And the setup consists of setting the fan to the correct device, which in this case is a 1000. To set the fan, in this case, to the C8 range, which you can use your quick guide as a guide, and that's this one right here. Set the mode to flow, which we have, and open fully 3 sliders on all sides of the simulator, and we're ready to go. A gauge setup consists of the red tube and yellow tube being connected to the red and yellow ports on the gauge in this particular case for building pressure and for fan pressure, and a yellow Ethernet cable which comes out, which is a control cable. This comes down over towards the fan, and the yellow connector goes into the fan onto the reference B port. And the Ethernet cable, which is the controlling cable, goes into the fan. Normally, the red tube, which is about 14 feet longer than this tube, will go through the panel here and outdoors. In this case, in the simulator, to keep away from the blast of the fan, it goes in a hole up here. So we've got the gauge connected to the fan, and we've got the range configuration on the gauge set to C8. We're now going to create a 500 CFM flow rate up here, and then we're going to fool the gauge by changing the range configuration using the range configuration key and see what happens to the flow. So we're going to press this until A appears, and read the flow rate and write it down. We're going to press it once more until B appears, and again write down the flow rate. And this exercise will serve to show how much difference it makes by getting the range configuration on the gauge to mismatch with the range configuration on the fan.